TIFU by calling out a married man for hitting on me. So, obligatory, this wasn't today, and was actually a few years ago. I was just painfully reminded of it today. I met a guy who was a friend of a friend while on a night out. We seemed to get on pretty well and shared a kiss or two. Fast forward to a couple of days later and the guy texts me saying he would love to take me on a date and maybe even grab a hotel room after if things go well. At this point, I didn't know a whole lot about him, so decided to get my detective on and have a look at his Facebook. I didn't think much of this, as pretty much everyone these days vets people on social media. I just wanted to be nosy and see if I could spot any potential red flags before agreeing to a date. Finding his account was pretty easy. Due to the mutual friend, it didn't take me long before noticing that he had pictures with his full-on wife and child. As in, wedding pictures and soppy posts about how much he loved her, etc. Needless to say, I was absolutely disgusted that someone would try and betray their partner's trust like that, so I thought I would give him a piece of my mind. I texted him to let him know that I found his Facebook, which meant I could see he was married, and I thought it was pretty disgusting. He replied with laughing faces, which angered me further and prompted a series of, to which he responded, "I do not have a wife. She passed away last year." This was also confirmed by the mutual friend, who I should have probably asked first. In hindsight, I apologized profusely and, needless to say, never got the date. I still cringe at myself whenever I think about it. Edit to add. Just to clarify, I was not horrible to him. I just explained that I personally found it disgusting for a married man to be pursuing someone else, which turned out to not be the case. We ended up laughing about it and there are no hard feelings. Chill guys. It's not that deep. TLD or Facebook stalked a guy who asked me on a date and found pictures of him and his wife. Confronted him about it and found out she was actually deceased. Lesson learned, I guess. Never jump to conclusions and always do the 3 C's: communicate. Communicate and communicate. When I dated, telling my date in advance that we could grab a hotel room if the second date went well was never part of the date ask. I guess I missed out on a bunch of hotel room romps and becoming a Hilton Honors member. Sounds like you also chose that guy's dead wife. Your foo was not looking at the dates of the photos and asking yourself if she's dead, divorced, in an open marriage, etc. A lot can happen in a year or two. And then blowing up at him instead of asking your mutual friend. I mean, were there no notifications or posts on his Facebook about his wife passing? Any condolences? Or remembrance? Or did you just look at the pictures and go from there? I have no idea how your first thought wasn't to message your mutual friend and say something like, so is X married? GIF. This reads like one of those Hallmark movies where the whole plot could have been avoided by asking a common sense question merely 5 minutes into the film. GIF. He is obviously free to feel offended and choose not to proceed. If this had happened to me, I'd probably still have gone for the date after clarifying everything. But I guess that would depend on your tone making the accusation, etc. Jesus. Guy dodged a bullet Matrix style. You were so busy looking for an imaginary red flag that you never stopped to see that the red flag was in the mirror the entire time. Honestly, I don't think you missed out on much. I'd have bailed at grab a hotel room, let alone the laughing emojis. As a widower, I appreciate your post, don't worry about it. It's difficult to forget about your deceased partner and dealing with the pictures at home. Social media is overwhelming. Do I leave the social media pictures up as a memorial to our past life or for others to view? Taking it down is just a reminder of loss. For some, it's easier to not deal with that and the pictures are left in place. Deserved lol. Depending on how nasty you were when you confronted him. If I were the guy, the first could probably forgive this. It actually shows character that you were disgusted at a married man cheating. My wife died last year. Lol. At least you graduated to the Detective 200 course. This would make for a great 90s rom-com, dramedy movie. Nah, his tears of joy and hotel option after a lunch date is weak. Dude went through all of the trouble of offing his wife just to help him get a sympathy hookup. And it still didn't pay off. Always start a confrontation calmly and with questions and a willingness to listen. Until that becomes your habit. You're a child, regardless of how many years you've lived. Dredging up the past and jumping to conclusions for $500.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.